This is a Vancouver Canucks warm-up puck. It's got the Canucks Orca on one side, it's got the TD logo on the other. Usually you see these during practice, during warm-ups at Rogers Arena, but pretty soon these pucks might be hitting the ice behind me for the foreseeable future. Hello everybody, my name is Lachlan and I'm writing the Stanchies for today's game between the Vancouver Canucks and the Nashville Predators, but that's not really the biggest story in Vancouver right now. The biggest story in Vancouver right now is the potential end of the Canucks practice facility saga. For those of you who are unaware, the Vancouver Canucks have essentially been looking for a practice facility for the better part of the last decade and a half. They used to practice over at Scotia Barn, they used to have a practice area in that arena, but they do not own their own practice facility. Ever since then, they've been essentially renting out ice from rinks around the Lower Mainland, usually at UBC, at the Father Bauer Arena. That has been their go-to. But in this day and age, renting out ice like beer league teams do doesn't really cut it anymore. As of right now, the Vancouver Canucks are one of just 2 teams left in the National Hockey League that does not own their own practice facility. The other is the Calgary Flames, which is currently being remedied with construction of a brand new practice facility connected to a new arena that'll be done in the next couple years. Once that happens, the Canucks will be the last team left in the National Hockey League without one. But that story might be finally coming to an end too. According to a report by Canucks Army's own Irfan Ghaffar, in a report that you should go read below, it is rumored that the Canucks and the city of Vancouver are finalizing a deal that would put a brand new practice facility here at the Britannia Ice Rink. This rink actually holds a very special place in my heart. I remember putting on goalie equipment for the first time in the locker rooms here and skating over to that crease over there. So it holds a special meaning for any kid who grew up in Vancouver to potentially see the Canucks practice here. The Canucks actually used to practice here many decades ago, back in the 80s and 90s. You can see old footage of Pavel Bure skating here with a crowd of people very excited to see the Canucks here. This ice sheet is brand new. They just reopened over the Family Day weekend. This is a brand new sheet of ice, brand new boards, glass, and everything, which is interesting timing considering the Canucks might then be doing a total renovation to the building around it. But a practice facility is a lot more than just an ice sheet or times to practice. It is about all of the stuff around it. Things like a player's lounge that Canucks can access 24/7. It's food and locker rooms and rehab facilities. Basically anything that a player might want or need on non-game days would be at the practice facility. And that's why they're so important to have. And for those of you wondering, well, why can't they just practice at the arena? The fact is arenas have concerts and other events that sometimes need that space, which means players can't always be in it whenever they want to be. So having the ability to go to a secondary location that's not that far away from Rogers Arena, Britannia is just down the street, about a 10-minute drive. That matters a lot to recruiting players in the future. Once construction is done on whatever they plan to do with the facility, the Canucks can then go to prospective free agents and say, hey, you want to come play for us because we have the newest state-of-the-art practice facility in the NHL. It's a great recruiting tool to building a better, stronger hockey team and franchise. There's a reason that 30 other teams in the NHL have something like it. And there's a reason why the Vancouver Canucks desperately need it and why it's taken so long to get done. The Canucks were supposed to have a deal finalized with the Plaza of Nations redevelopment across the street, but that fell apart during the pandemic. The Canucks have looked at a number of different rinks around the Lower Mainland. They've looked at UBC, they looked at SFU, they've looked at Scotia Barn, Rosemary Brown, and Burnaby. Building a practice facility here at Britannia was always going to make the most sense. This is a 10-minute drive from Rogers Arena. It's not all that far for opposing teams that need practice times to get to from the airport or their hotels in downtown Vancouver. This location, as far as an existing rink goes, was the perfect spot. Now, I should be very clear here that this is not finalized. This is not official yet. The city of Vancouver and the Canucks have both gone the no comment route on this story since it came out yesterday. But there are reports that renderings have already been seen, that this is a relatively far along project already. And once we get an official announcement, the shovels should go in the ground pretty quickly. Now, there are still things that need to be sorted out about this space, things like the community value of such a project. What would the public get to do with this space if the Canucks aren't here? There is a high school literally right across from the Britannia Rink that usually high schoolers come and get to skate after school. Will that still be available to them? Will that still be part of the package? What about lessons for new skaters and new hockey players and beer league times? That'll all get sorted out in the next little while as well. Will it still be a community rink even if now the Canucks are running the show. You also have to consider where they're going to build all these new amenities. Britannia is kind of filled out already most of the corners around the street, which means that there's not a whole lot of extra space to build these amenities. There is a parking lot right down the way that could be built upon. That is most likely where they're planning to do more things. But once you do that, then you need a new parking lot, and that has to get figured out between the city and the Canucks as well. At the end of the day, ideally, this renovation will not just benefit the Canucks, this will not just benefit the NHL franchise or the fans, it will benefit the city of Vancouver, because at the end of the day, when the Canucks and the city are doing well, everyone benefits. What do you think about this news of the rumored Canucks practice facility? What would you like to see the Canucks build into their new practice facility? Let me know in the comments below. For now, that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to click like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and make sure to read the Stanchies after the Canucks and the Predators tonight at 7 p.m. on CanucksArmy.com. See you there.